In this class, I'm going to explain how a very basic Java program works. So I'm looking at a program called Hello World, which is going to introduce you to Java programming. So in the HelloWorld.java, you have like a package statement, which is the first statement in the Java class. After the package, you have a set of import statements, which will let you import classes from other packages. In this particular case, I'm importing a string class which is from the java.lang package. You don't need to import anything from the Java lang package because everything by default is imported from Java lang package. But I'm just showing you that after the package you have a set of imports. Okay. Then you have the class definition which starts from public class hello world, and there is a method here called main. And main is a special method in Java which signifies the entry point into your program. So the first statement that executes when you run this program is the first statement inside the main method. And the signature of the main method, public static void, you cannot change that. If you miss any of these, that means it will not be regarded as the entry point to your program. And here we have some arguments that we pass to the main method. It takes an array of strings, and these arguments are arguments that you pass on the command line. So this, since it's an array and the first element of the array starts from index 0, I am going to pass the first name and the last name of a person as arguments to this program, and the first argument, which starts at index 0, is stored in the first name, and the second argument which is at index 1 is stored in the last name. And then I'm going to print this to the console by using system.out.println, and I'm saying hello, how are you, and then there's a plus operator here which joins or concatenates two strings. So hello, how are you will be joined to the first name, and the first name is passed as an argument from the command line, and that is joined with a space character, and that is joined to the last name. So when this program runs on the console, you will see hello, how are you, and if I'm passing my name Sujit Kumar, it will say hello, how are you, Sujit space Kumar. Okay, and every method starts with an opening brace and ends with a closing brace, and this is a comment here which says end of main. Comments are never compiled, they are ignored. So anything after slash slash to the end of the line will be ignored. And this one denotes the end of the class definition, which starts from here and ends here. And again, this is a comment here which says end of class. So like I said, there are three sections in the Java class, and you cannot change the order of these sections. So first you have the package, then you have the set of imports, then you have the class definition which will contain a set of methods. The package is optional. If you don't provide it, it uses a default package, and the default package has no name in Java. Then you have the set of imports, and that is also optional. You only need to import something if you are using something from an external package. If you are not using anything from an external package, then the import section is also optional. And remember that everything from the Java lang package is automatically imported, so you don't need to provide a explicit import for any classes from the Java lang package. So the string class is from the Java lang package, so you don't need to import it. Then the class definition is between the opening brace and the closing brace. It uses a Java keyword called class. So Java has reserved certain words called keywords for its own internal use. So you cannot name a variable or a method or a class using these keywords because they are reserved by Java. So class is also a keyword in Java which specifies that it is a class. And then you have the name of a class. And the class also has a main method which signifies the start of program execution when you run this class. An important thing to realize is Java is case sensitive. So if you have a variable called hello in all lowercase, that is not the same as a variable with in uppercase hello. Okay, and the case of the file should match the case of the class as well. So the class is hello world. The file in which the class exists should have the name HelloWorld.java. So the extension of Java files is .java, and the class name is hello world with a h lowercase. Then the file name should also have h lowercase. Okay. Then the main method, I said it's like a special method which indicates the start of program execution. So there are restrictions on the signature of the main method. It has to be public static, and its return type is void, and should take an array of strings as inputs. So these array of strings are parameters passed to the program, and it is possible that you may not pass any parameters and your program may not use them at all. An array is a collection of elements accessed with an index, and the first index starts from 0. So in this, for the main method, we are passing an array of strings, and these array of strings are passed from the command line. And the keyword public is an access modifier, and static indicates that it's a class variable or a method, and void means nothing is returned from that method. Void means empty, so nothing is returned from that method. So the main method contains a set of statements that are executed in order from top to bottom. So these statements are the logic of your program, and every statement in Java ends with a semicolon. And you can have program flow control statements like the if condition, if statement, the while statement, and the for loops inside the main method. So while is a statement which executes as long as a condition is true. For is a loop which executes for a fixed number of iterations. Okay, and system.out.println is actually used to print to the console, which is your screen. Okay, and it always ends after printing it. It goes to the new line, and system.out.print, it will print to the console, but it will not go to the next line. Okay. In Java, there are two kinds of comments. You have single line comments and multi-line comments. Single line comments start with //. So the single line comment can appear at the beginning of a line. That means the whole line is commented out, or it can appear in the middle of a line. But when it appears in the middle of a line, everything from after the // is ignored, but everything before the // is actually compiled. That is a single line comment. Then you have multi-line comments where multiple lines can be commented by using the /* which denotes the start of the multi-line comments, and a // which denotes the end of the multi-line comments. So you can have like a set of 3 to 4 lines which can be commented out by using the multi-line comment syntax. So the important thing to realize is comments are never compiled, and they are meant to convey information to the reader of your programs or other programmers. It's just to help others understand the logic of your code. And how do you compile and run a Java program from the command line? You use the Java compiler called javac, and you say javac and the name of the file. This command will produce a file called helloworld.class, and this class will contain the byte code, and you can execute this class file by giving it to the Java program which is the Java launcher. You say Java hello world, but when you run it, you need to know that you don't actually specify the class extension. The dot class is actually omitted when you run that class, when you give it to the Java launcher. And if you want to pass some parameters, like let's say you want to pass the first name and last name from our example, you say Java hello world, and then you say first argument is Sujit, and each parameter is separated from the other parameter by a space, by one or more spaces. Then in order to compile and run from Eclipse, you go to the menu, to the project, and check the build automatically, and once you save the file, it will automatically get compiled. And to run it, you right click on the open Java program and say run as Java application. And then if you want to run with arguments, you right click on an open Java program and choose run as, and open the run dialog and pass the command line arguments. So let me show you an example of how to run programs from Eclipse. And there are And if you want to look at the APIs for JDK 1.6 and 1.7, I have shown you some links here. So you can bookmark these links before you start programming for other classes. So let's go and see an example program. Let's open the Hello World program. So I'm opening my project. And I open a file called HelloWorld.java by pressing the key Control Shift R, and that will open the file. And in this file, I'm passing two command line arguments. The first one is at index 0 and the second one is index 1. To run this program, to compile it, go to project and choose build automatically. If it is selected, that means when I make any change, it gets automatically compiled, and it gets compiled and stored in the bin folder. So if you go into the bin folder, if you go to com Xenolocity training hello, com Xenolocity training and hello, I should be able to see the hello world.class which gets compiled. Now in order to run this program, stay in this window and say run as Java application. But since this program needs some arguments, I'm going to open the run dialog. And once I open the run dialog, I can go to the argument section and pass some arguments. I'm going to pass Sujit and Kumar, which is my first name and last name, and I apply and I run this program. And when I run this program, it looks like it's not running this program. Let me run this. So it prints, hello, this is your first Java program, which is on line number 21. And then it prints, hello, how are you doing, Mr. Sujit Kumar? Let me run it again. And it prints, how are you doing, Mr. Sujit Kumar? So this is how you compile and run programs from Eclipse.